Imagine you walk into work tomorrow morning, and something feels different. The fluorescent lights aren't flickering. There's no aggressive hum from the air conditioning. No one is having a loud phone call 3 desks away. The open office isn't a battlefield of noise, chaos, and unpredictable interruptions. Instead, it's calm, structured, designed for a brain like yours. Now ask yourself, what would actually happen to you in that environment? Not just to autistic people, to everyone. Because here's what most people don't realize. The modern workplace was never designed for the human brain. It was designed for productivity at the cost of the nervous system. And for autistic adults, that cost is paid every single day. But what if that changed? What if every workplace on the planet became truly sensory friendly? Starting tomorrow, this is what would happen. The first thing that would change is the noise. Right now, the average open plan office runs at around 65 decibels. That's roughly the same level as a busy restaurant. For a neurotypical brain, that's annoying. For an autistic brain, that's a constant emergency signal running in the background of every single thought. In a sensory-friendly workplace, sound would be managed. Acoustic panels, quiet zones, the option to wear noise-canceling headphones without being judged. Private focus rooms available to anyone who needs them, not as a privilege, but as a standard. And the moment that noise disappears, autistic employees would stop spending 40% of their mental energy just managing sensory input and start directing that energy toward actual work. The output would be extraordinary. The second thing that would change is the lighting. Fluorescent lights flicker at a frequency the human eye can't consciously detect, but the autistic nervous system can. It registers it as a low-level visual disturbance running all day, every day. By 3 p.m., many autistic workers aren't tired from their workload. They're tired from their environment. In a sensory-friendly workplace, lighting would be natural where possible. Warm, adjustable, non-flickering where not. Employees would control their own light levels the same way they control their own chair height. A small change, a massive difference. The third thing that would change is social expectation. Right now, the unwritten rules of every workplace are neurotypical rules. Make small talk, maintain eye contact, read the room, perform enthusiasm in meetings, even when the meeting could have been an email. In a sensory-friendly workplace, communication would be explicit. Agendas sent before every meeting, feedback given in writing, not just verbally. No penalty for being direct. No performance reviews that penalize someone for being too blunt when what they actually were was honest. Autistic employees would stop masking 8 hours a day. And when masking stops, creativity starts. Here's what the research actually shows. Studies on neurodivergent employees consistently find the same pattern. When autistic adults are placed in environments that accommodate their sensory and communication needs, their performance doesn't just improve, it accelerates. Companies like SAP, Microsoft, and EY have already launched neurodiversity hiring programs. Not out of charity, out of strategy. Because they discovered that autistic employees in the right environment show pattern recognition, attention to detail, and deep focus capabilities that are genuinely rare. The problem was never the autistic brain, the problem was always the environment. But here's the part nobody talks about. A sensory-friendly workplace wouldn't just benefit autistic employees, it would benefit everyone. Quieter environments reduce stress hormones across the board. Clear communication reduces misunderstandings for every team member. Flexible sensory option, like the ability to work in a calm space or take a genuine mental reset. Improve focus for neurotypical brains too. When you design for the most sensitive nervous system in the room, you accidentally optimize the experience for every nervous system in the room. That's not accommodation. That's smart design. So why doesn't this exist everywhere yet? Because changing a workplace means admitting the current one was wrong. And most organizations would rather keep a broken system than acknowledge the cost of it, paid daily, invisibly, by the people whose brains were never factored into the blueprint. But that's changing, slowly, and conversations like this one are part of why. If every workplace became sensory-friendly tomorrow, here's the final picture. Autistic adults who spent years underperforming, not because of their ability, but because of their environment, would finally show what they're actually capable of. Burnout rates would drop, sick days would decrease, turnover would fall, and somewhere in a calm, well-lit, quietly humming office, an autistic mind that spent years being told it was too sensitive would sit down, take a breath, and do the best work of its life, not despite being autistic, because of it. If this video made you think about your own workplace or your own brain, drop a comment below. Tell me one thing your ideal sensory-friendly workspace would have. And if you're watching this thinking, this is exactly what I needed someone to say, subscribe. Because every week we go deeper into the autistic mind and what it's actually capable of when the world finally gets out of its way. I'll see you in the next one.